They're the reason why your nervous system keeps ghosting love before your dates do. All right, let me guess. You can crush deadlines, run circles around your to-do list, and hold it all together when everyone else falls apart. But in relationships, suddenly you're spiraling over unanswered tests. You cling to someone who's pulling away, or you shut down the second thing someone gets too close or too vulnerable. Maybe you found yourself replaying the same arguments in your head at 3 a.m. Your stomach is twisted in knots. Maybe you've sat on the bedroom floor after a breakup, convinced you'll never be chosen. Or maybe you've been in a relationship where your chest was tight more than it was open, waiting for the next shoe to drop. Sound familiar? Okay, I've been there. These are stories from my own life and my own relationships. Okay, it just didn't pull them out of my ass. And they're things my clients struggle with as well. Okay, here's the truth though. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not broken. What's happening is your nervous system is running on old wiring. Wounds from the past, whether it's from childhood, past relationships, or years of shame, have shaped the way your mind and body experience closeness. And unless you heal them, these survival strategies will keep sabotaging your love life. It'll just keep happening over and over. Okay, there are 3 emotional wounds at the core of these things: attachment wounds, relationship trauma, and shame. Okay, today we are talking about each of them, and of course, lots of ways to heal these things using neuroscience and psychology. Let's dive in. Before we get there though, if you're an ambitious woman who looks driven, smart, happy, and everyone thinks you've got it all together, but your love life is a minefield of anxious overthinking, emotionally unavailable partners, ghosting, and shame spirals, you're in the right place. My name's Cody. I'm trained in IFS psychotherapy. I have a degree in cognitive neuroscience, and I am followed by nearly 1 million ambitious women who I help stop attracting emotionally unavailable partners by helping them become emotionally available themselves, so they can start to attract and receive the love that they're looking for. Okay. Every week I share practical tips, research-backed tools to help you regulate your nervous system, release baggage, and become emotionally available to the love that you actually want without shrinking your ambition. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and you're looking for, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you back here, and say what's up in the comments if it's the first time you're seeing me. Okay. Let's dive in here. All right. The first thing we're talking about is attachment wounds. This is when love kind of feels like quicksand, is an easy way to think about it. Okay. Attachment wounds are sneaky because they start in childhood. Maybe your caregiver sometimes comforted you, sometimes didn't. Maybe love was tied to your performance. Straight A's, winning the game, keeping the peace. That comes from my personal experience. Or maybe your feelings got brushed off. Like, don't cry. It's not that big of a deal. Attachment wounds aren't about personality. They're about wiring. If these were things that you had to deal with when you were young, your developing brain and body had to adapt. Your nervous system learned that closeness isn't safe. Love is unpredictable. Don't trust it. Your amygdala, the brain's smoke alarm, learned to fire at signs of intimacy. Your insula, which helps you gauge safety in your body, starts to scream the second someone gets too close. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain that knows this person isn't your parent, gets hijacked. Fast forward to adulthood, and your body still responds to love like it's in unstable terrain, essentially. Someone texts back right away, you feel smothered. Someone takes their time to text back, you feel abandoned. You chase unavailable partners because inconsistency is what your nervous system recognizes as normal. Okay. I remember after one of my breakups, I sat on the floor of my room crying so hard, I thought my entire freaking chest was going to cave in. A part of me was so desperate for comfort, but another part of me couldn't trust anyone to actually give it. My thoughts spun, and beneath it all, the script that I learned was, I'm not enough. Love will leave me. That's where it started to form. Okay. What was happening inside of me is my amygdala was firing like a smoke alarm. It was coding closeness as unsafe. And even though what I desperately wanted was to be held, it didn't feel that way. My insula, like we talked about earlier, helps kind of understand what's going on in your body. But mine was amplifying the sensations of abandonment, a tight chest, a hollow stomach, heat in my face. So it felt unbearable. And my prefrontal cortex, which is supposedly the rational part of my brain that could remind me she left, but you're safe now, got completely overridden. So I just didn't get that message. The rule my nervous system laid down instead that day was simple but brutal. Closeness is unpredictable, and love can vanish at any moment. That rule carried into every relationship after that until I took a look at it. Okay, I'd crave intimacy, but the second someone got too close, panic would set in. I'd either cling tighter, demand reassurance, or push them away to avoid being abandoned again. Sometimes I'd choose partners who were emotionally unavailable themselves because unpredictability was what my body already knew. Other times I'd sabotage good relationships, convinced they'd collapse anyways. Psychologically, it showed up in my thoughts as constant second guessing. Do they really like me? Are they losing interest? Did I do something wrong? That's the cruel irony of attachment wounds. You desperately want closeness, but the moment you get it, it feels like quicksand. The harder you reach for it, the more unstable and suffocating it feels. The good news is you can heal attachment wounds. It's what I do for a living. I've done it myself, for myself, and with my clients. So you can heal this. It took me a long time to understand that my body wasn't reacting to my current partner. It was reacting to my past. Okay. The way out isn't finding someone who never triggers you. It's rewiring. My nervous system had been shaped by inconsistency and conditional love. And until I rewired it, every present day moment of intimacy felt like a replay of abandonment, or like I was waiting for betrayal and abandonment to come. Healing for me looked like experimenting with vulnerability in micro doses, okay? Sharing a small truth and noticing when it didn't scare the other person away. Like sharing something I was being vulnerable about. For me, usually it happened, I would be working on something in therapy, and I would talk to my therapist a couple weeks about it, and then me and my therapist would kind of plan, okay, here's how we're going to share this with someone. How are you going to share this with your partner? And then I would bring the conversation up, and just in little tiny doses, after talking about it with someone else, I'd bring it up to my partner, and it would go well or not go well. Generally, it does go well if you're with a healthy person, and it really helped me a lot. Okay, letting someone show up consistently, even when my alarm bells told me to run, was so freaking powerful. Okay, and I noticed when they would stay instead of leave. And that was so helpful for me to understand, oh, I can do this. I can be vulnerable. I can share these things. Okay. Each of those moments was like a neural update. A new rule was being written into my circuitry. Maybe closeness can be steady. Maybe love doesn't always have to collapse. Maybe it doesn't always end in betrayal or abandonment. And that's the new rule. Okay, that's the power of rewiring. What once felt like quicksand slowly starts to feel like solid ground. I've been there. Okay, I'm still a work in progress. We all are, but you can do this. Okay, attachment wounds can heal. Okay, if attachment wounds come from childhood, relationship trauma is what happens later. The second type of wound is relationship trauma. It's like a haunted house kind of. It's haunted by old ghosts, okay? It's the betrayals, it's the cheating, it's the messy breakup, it's the toxic dynamics that leave emotional scar tissue, okay? These aren't just bad memories. They leave imprints in your nervous system like ghosts in walls. I remember one relationship where I couldn't sleep because my stomach was in knots. My chest was tight again, my mind was racing. Hello, pattern. And I'd refresh her location every 10 minutes, scroll through her messages, call and text compulsively. It was like I was being hijacked by a part of me I didn't even recognize. And when I finally found the proof she was cheating, it wasn't just an emotional punch in the gut. It was like a full body hijack. My chest tightened, my stomach dropped, my mind was spinning. I couldn't even barely think straight. That wasn't just heartbreak. It was my brain's survival mechanisms and survival machinery firing on all cylinders. Okay, in that moment, my hippocampus, the part of my brain that logs memories in time, couldn't file the event neatly into the past.